At 8 o'clock, the battlefield erupted in a spectacular explosion as a Russian T-90M tank led a column of 6 armored vehicles into a Ukrainian-held town. A low-cost FPV drone, valued at just $1,200, targeted the lead tank, striking its turret with precision. Within seconds, the tank caught fire and detonated its ammunition, sending debris over 250 meters and taking out 3 following APCs in the blast radius. The chaos was immediate. Smoke billowed across the road, and the remaining vehicles struggled to maneuver under relentless fire from Ukrainian Bradley 1FVs and Leopard tanks. This single coordinated strike demonstrated the devastating effect of modern combined arms tactics, where drones, precision missiles, and artillery work in perfect synergy. If you want to witness more jaw-dropping battlefield moments and understand the strategies behind these attacks, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to stay updated with every release. At 8:10, the Ukrainian forces observed a Russian armored column advancing toward the outskirts of a small town. The formation consisted of 5 T-90M tanks and 2 infantry fighting vehicles, stretching nearly 1.3 kilometers along the dusty road. From a concealed ridge, Ukrainian soldiers carefully monitored every movement, noting the speed and spacing between vehicles. Reconnaissance drones hovered silently above, transmitting high-resolution imagery of each tank and IFV, while infrared sensors calculated exact distances for potential strikes. The Ukrainian command decided not to engage immediately. Every soldier knew patience could determine the outcome. Engineers had already emplaced anti-tank mines across narrow bends, and additional explosives were prepared for remote deployment via drones. The terrain favored the defenders. Trees, abandoned buildings, and small elevation changes offered perfect cover. Each vehicle in the column was analyzed for weak points. The T-90Ms appeared formidable, with armor capable of withstanding frontal attacks, but side and rear plating were still vulnerable. Observers marked the positions of turrets, ammunition storage, and the fuel tanks of every IFV. The soldiers coordinated, synchronizing missile operators with Bradley 1FV positions and Leopard tank overwatch. Time passed slowly, tension mounting. The column inched forward at approximately 12 kilometers per hour, unaware of the deadly trap awaiting them. Even the slightest miscalculation could expose them to a barrage of guided missiles and precision fire. Every heartbeat counted, and every second drew them closer to the moment when the carefully orchestrated ambush would transform the quiet outskirts into a blazing war zone. At 8:25, the first wave of engagement erupted. The Russian column had reached a critical point near the outskirts, around 450 meters from the Ukrainian defensive line. Ukrainian soldiers, hidden behind rubble and tree lines, waited patiently. Their first targets were a T-90M tank and a BMP-3 IFV, the leading vehicles of the column. A javelin missile launched from a concealed position struck the side of the tank, sending a shower of sparks and metal fragments into the air. The armor held for a few seconds, but the secondary ammunition compartments inside the IFV ignited, creating a dramatic, fiery explosion that sent debris flying over 150 meters. The battlefield erupted with chaos. Smoke and flames forced the remaining Russian vehicles to slow down, while a Bradley 1FV moved forward, unleashing suppressive fire. One T-90M attempted to maneuver out of the kill zone but accidentally triggered a mine, producing a smaller yet terrifying secondary explosion. At this moment, a single anti-tank missile from a nearby Bradley penetrated the weakened rear armor of another tank, partially disabling it. Every soldier moved with precision, executing the ambush flawlessly. Even a slight hesitation could have turned the tables, but the Ukrainian forces maintained perfect coordination. By the time the dust settled, 4 enemy vehicles were damaged or burning, while the remaining tanks were forced to adopt defensive positions. This tense and carefully calculated attack set the stage for what was coming next. a decisive and overwhelming strike that would become the central explosion of the battle. If you're amazed by the precision and bravery on display here, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss the upcoming epic confrontation. At 8:45, the battlefield reached its most intense moment. The lead T-90M tank, driving at roughly 15 kilometers per hour, became the primary target of a Ukrainian FPV drone. Valued at just $1,200, the drone struck with surgical precision, hitting the tank's turret and igniting its ammunition. The vehicle erupted into a massive fireball, sending fragments and burning metal across over 300 meters, engulfing the first two APCs in the column. The shockwave and blinding flames forced the remaining tanks to halt abruptly, some veering into the roadside ditch. Amid the chaos, a Bradley YFV fired repeatedly with its Bushmaster cannon, targeting the weakened side armor of a second T-90M. Each shot penetrated layers of composite armor, sparking secondary explosions as fuel and munitions ignited. One BMP-3 IFV attempted a rapid retreat, but struck a hidden anti-tank mine, detonating spectacularly and throwing debris high into the air. The combined effect of drones, mines, and Bradley fire had neutralized nearly half of the Russian column within 30 seconds, creating a scene of utter devastation. The remaining vehicles were trapped in the kill zone, smoke and fire reducing visibility to near zero. Ukrainian soldiers maintained perfect coordination, using thermal sights to identify targets through the inferno. Every missile, cannon shot, and drone strike worked in unison, creating a devastating chain reaction. By the end of this assault, 4 T-90Ms were disabled, 3 APCs destroyed, and 1 IFV completely consumed by fire. This decisive moment demonstrated the overwhelming impact of modern combined arms tactics. The initial patience, careful reconnaissance, and precise timing had turned the quiet outskirts into a scene of total destruction, setting the stage for subsequent operations that would continue to dismantle the Russian advance. At 9:15, the Ukrainian forces seized the initiative, pressing their advantage after the devastating primary explosion. The remaining Russian vehicles were disoriented, their formation fragmented by the inferno and secondary blasts. A Leopard 2A6 tank, positioned on a slight ridge about 1,200 meters from the enemy column, began targeting the lead vehicles. Each shot from its 120mm main gun pierced the armor of APCs and IFVs effortlessly, sending metal and debris flying in every direction. Within minutes, 3 APCs were disabled, and 1 T-90M was forced to halt, smoke pouring from its turret. Meanwhile, Bradley YFVs advanced with caution, using thermal sights to track stragglers hiding behind buildings and tree lines. One Bradley fired a tool missile at a BMP-3 attempting to flank from the left, destroying it instantly. The missile exploded with such force that the wreckage was thrown over 200 meters, igniting secondary fires among abandoned vehicles. The combination of drones providing real-time coordinates and precision fire from both Bradley and Leopard created a near-perfect kill zone, leaving the enemy with minimal options. High above, reconnaissance drones detected additional Russian targets, including a small Pantsir S-1A air defense system and a hidden ammo depot. Coordinates were relayed to a HIMARS battery stationed several kilometers back. Within moments, cluster munitions rained down, obliterating the air defense system and triggering a massive chain reaction among the stored munitions. Flames and smoke rose over 50 meters, illuminating the battlefield and sending the remaining enemy forces into panic. Every strike was coordinated, with infantry, tanks, drones, and artillery working seamlessly. The Russians tried to regroup, but mines and previously unnoticed explosives forced them into predictable paths. One T-90M, attempting to escape, rolled onto an anti-tank mine, detonating in a violent blast that scattered its turret across the field. The battlefield was now littered with burning vehicles, twisted metal, and scattered debris. demonstrating the devastating efficiency of modern multi-layered defense tactics. By the end of this phase, 6 armored vehicles were destroyed, 2 tanks critically damaged, and multiple enemy troops incapacitated or trapped inside burning wrecks. The Ukrainian forces maintained perfect control, systematically eliminating threats while minimizing their own exposure. This relentless and coordinated counterattack set the stage for further strikes, ensuring the Russians could no longer maintain their advance. At 10 o'clock, the remnants of the Russian armored column attempted to regroup and push forward along a narrow, exposed road. Their numbers were dwindling. Only 3 T-90M tanks, 4 BMP-3 IFVs, and 2 APCs remained operational, many already smoking or limping on damaged tracks. Ukrainian forces had anticipated this maneuver. Hidden anti-tank mines were strategically placed along sharp bends, and drones hovered above, ready to provide real-time targeting data. As the lead APC tried to advance, it triggered a buried mine, causing a violent explosion that sent the vehicle flipping over more than 30 meters. Its crew was incapacitated, and flaming debris ignited a nearby BMP. The remaining vehicles scrambled to avoid the blast zone, only to enter the firing range of 2 Bradley YFVs positioned on a ridge 600 meters away. The Bradleys unleashed precision fire with their Bushmaster cannons, tearing tracks apart and creating a chain reaction of destruction. One T-90M attempted to retaliate, but a coordinated TOW missile from the flanking Bradley struck its turret, rendering it immobile. High above, FPV drones executed rapid, low-altitude passes, dropping small explosive charges onto exposed vehicles. One BMP was hit directly, detonating its onboard munitions and sending flames soaring over 20 meters into the air. The sight was overwhelming. Smoke, fire, and debris littered the narrow valley, leaving the remaining Russian forces in utter chaos. Attempts to escape were futile. Mines, precision fire, and drone strikes left them trapped with no safe exit. Meanwhile, a Leopard 2A6 tank advanced along a parallel ridge, its thermal sights locking on to the remaining targets. Each shot penetrated armor with surgical precision. Within 10 minutes, 4 additional vehicles were destroyed, leaving only a single T-90M and an APC trying to retreat under the cover of smoke. Both were ultimately halted by a combination of drone-guided artillery and anti-tank mines, finishing the systematic destruction of the enemy column. By the end of this relentless assault, over 80% of the Russian armored force had been destroyed, including 5 T-90Ms, 6 IFVs, and 3 APCs. The battlefield was a fiery wasteland, littered with burning vehicles, twisted metal, and scattered munitions. The Ukrainian forces had achieved complete control of the area, showcasing the devastating effectiveness of combining drones, mines, precision missiles, and heavy armor. This phase left no doubt. Any further Russian advance would be met with overwhelming firepower and meticulous coordination, setting the stage for final clearance operations and securing total battlefield dominance. At 10:30, the battlefield had quieted, leaving behind a scene of total devastation. Ukrainian forces had neutralized nearly 90% of the Russian armored column, including 7 T-90M tanks, 8 BMP-3 IFVs, and 5 APCs, along with several high-value targets like a Pantsir S-1A air defense system and an ammo depot. The wreckage was still smoldering, with twisted steel and scattered munitions marking every foot of the former Russian advance. The sheer scale of destruction was staggering. Just one coordinated operation had decimated an entire armored unit worth tens of millions of dollars. Reflecting on the battle, it is impossible not to be impressed by the precision, patience, and bravery of the Ukrainian forces. Each strike, from drones dropping small munitions to Leopard and Bradley firepower, was meticulously calculated, demonstrating not only technical skill, but also a deep understanding of modern combined arms warfare. The use of mines and ambush points forced even heavily armored vehicles into fatal mistakes, highlighting how strategy and intelligence can outweigh sheer numerical strength. This operation also shows the changing nature of contemporary battlefields. A $1,200 FPV drone can bring down a $16 million helicopter, while coordination between infantry, armor, and aerial reconnaissance turns even the most formidable enemy units into vulnerable targets. The integration of drones, artillery, and missile systems creates layers of defense that are almost impossible to overcome once prepared. On a personal note, witnessing this level of precision and strategy is both awe-inspiring and sobering. It emphasizes that modern warfare is no longer just about brute force, but about intelligence, patience, and coordination. The courage and skill of these soldiers deserve immense respect, as every calculated risk could have meant life or death for them. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Which part of the battle impressed you the most? The primary explosion, the drone strikes, or the precision fire from the Leopards and Bradleys? Which weapon system would you like to see explained or analyzed in more detail in future videos? Your opinions matter and help shape the stories we bring to this channel. Don't forget to leave a comment below and subscribe to stay updated on all future releases, where we continue to explore the strategies, courage, and technology shaping today's battlefields.